Wrestling! Newsstand versus Newsletter embarks on a journey of a classic wrestling year. Were the PWI readers accurate with their assessment of talent? Were the Wrestling Observer Newsletter subscribers more right than wrong? Join longtime friends Scotty and Andrew as they talk about Newsstand versus Newsletter.
Welcome to another episode of Newsstand versus Newsletter. I am your host, the future Hall of Famer, Scotty B. Bringing my co-host, Gorgeous Andrew. That's the name this week. There he is, everybody. And for people listening, well, you can't see him, but there's Gorgeous Andrew. I am currently dying from allergies. I'm fucking dead. I think I sneezed today like 195 times. And
you know what I do? And I've been doing since I was a kid.
What's that?
I'm not supposed to. But you see these types of tags here that you sometimes get when you buy a new shirt or a new pair of pants. These
guess so. Yeah.
These little things. I take these and I shove them up my nose to induce sneezing. And
I've seen you do that. It's very odd.
It started as a kid with my grandmother's bobby pins. I used to open them up and shove that up my nose, but I've always found these were better because they were smaller.
Why would you want to sneeze?
I just like the sensation of sneezing.
Yeah, well, you want to take some from me? Because I'm fucking dying over here. Like, I don't like the sensation of it at all. It's horrible. I'm fucking stuffed up. I'm sneezing all the goddamn day. And it's like, everyone's like, oh, I can't wait for spring. I can wait for, well, you know, the thing is, the problem is, you know what comes next month?
The heat.
Not just that. What is something that mostly women hate in June? What's the thing if you don't want long hair in June?
If you don't have long hair?
No, you don't want like long hair in June.
I don't know.
At night, June bugs.
Oh, yeah. We don't have June bugs here.
Oh, we have them here, and they're not pleasant. I'll tell you, I've seen them dead. Like fucking. Yeah, they're not fun at all. They'll make you run like you're being murdered. Like someone's gonna kill you. That's the thing, right? But anyway, enough of that. We're gonna jump right into it. We're doing the 2010s with an S. So we're doing the whole decade of 2010s. I'm not gonna go over what I was doing in 2010s because it's 10 fucking years. I don't know.
It's a full decade.
I made it through.
Yeah,
you know, I made it through. That was about it. And then you know what happens? 2020, party's over.
Yeah, that was the last of the before times. So this was the last normal decade, and we didn't know it at the time. We took advantage, or we took it for granted.
Well, I think like sitting in the house doing nothing, like I do all the time, is like, oh, and then like COVID happens, and I was like, so it's just my life. Like I don't get the difference here. Like you can't go out. We'll pay you to stay home. Wait a second, you'll pay me to stay home? All right, great. So yeah, 2010s. Again, I don't know. There's nothing to really talk about. Lots of things happened in that decade. Do I really remember much about it? Not really. Went to a lot of football games. Went to my first live football game in 2014, which was pretty fun. Well, no, my second live football game. My first one was in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. The BC Lions. Who were they playing again when we went to that game?
Hamilton Tiger Cats.
It was a good game. Would they go right down to the wire?
Yeah, I think it was like right down to the last play or something like that.
Yeah, we weren't really paying attention. But, yeah, lots of things happened. I moved out there for a little bit. Went to a concert, really bad concert. That was unfortunately really bad. Guns N' Roses in 2017.
You know, it's funny because I read positive reviews. People that had a good time. Maybe you left too soon. Maybe it got better.
No. When Axl screwed up Mr. Brownstone and sang it backwards, I was like, okay, I think I'm done. And it was really hot there. The AC broke in the fucking stadium. So it was super hot in that stadium, and I was not having any of that. I'm like, I only paid $20 for the ticket. So it wasn't the end of the world. I was supposed to go with the girl when she bailed last minute. I was like, all right, we'll go by myself like a loser. But I will say, I stuck around to hear him play. I won't go as far as to my favorite Guns N' Roses song, but probably my favorite Guns N' Roses song live. No, my second favorite Guns N' Roses song live.
November Rain?
Yeah, no. Double Talk and Jive. Yeah, my favorite Guns N' Roses song live when they sing it properly is Mr. Brownstone.
That's my favorite Guns N' Roses song.
Do you know that song? Are you being serious when you say that?
No, I'm being dead serious.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew it. I thought you were being sarcastic. No, that's a great song. A really good song.
Guns N' Roses song.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. So what about you? You jump quickly into 2010s? Like anything special happened? You didn't die?
I didn't die, so I have that going for me. I got back into professional wrestling in this decade. The first year, off and on, very off, mostly off.
Well,
but,
bad.
But by midway through 2011, I was right back in it, feet first, with back getting DVDs, back reading the message boards and participating, and just being a big pro wrestling geek again.
So this decade in pro wrestling history, what would you say is the biggest thing to happen? And not just wrestling wise in the ring, maybe outside the ring. Because I have my pick. Because I was actually looking up a couple things. I couldn't find a decent list. I was trying to find the highest attendance of that game, but I couldn't find it.
I'm not just saying. Well, I'm going to say it because it's personal to me, but I'm going to say the whole CM Punk pipe bomb and following with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, because I'm speaking just for myself personally. It brought me back into wrestling, and I remember on one of the Facebook groups I'm in, there was a thread. Did you ever leave wrestling? What was the cause? And you ever come back to wrestling? What was the cause? And that was many people's answer. A lot of people had grown disenfranchised. I mean, I wasn't watching at the time, but I haven't heard a lot of glowing reviews for 08, 09.
Yeah, well, no, it's garbage. It's garbage.
It's pure garbage. And so just the idea to have something that for a moment in time captured lightning in a bottle. And of course they ruined it, but for that
big time.
brief time, wrestling was cool like it was in the Austin 316 and NWO era. The Rock.
So, my biggest event was 4 minutes of WWE Network. I just gave it to you. That's the biggest thing that happened. I think out of anything, that's the biggest thing, man. And I'll tell you, like, as much as we get them shit, I remember when that came out, I was in my fucking glory because I'm like, oh, look at all this stuff I can watch. So,
well, and also at the tail end of the year or tail end of the decade, AEW started.
Yep.
They weren't what they would become just yet, but the seeds were planted.
Yeah.
And I would rather go back and rewatch AEW stuff than some of the WWE stuff.
Well, WWE stuff had a lot of like old school stuff which I like to watch, 80s, 70s stuff. So
that yes, but I'm saying like as soon as AEW became a thing, I didn't have any interest in WWE.
Well, no, neither did I. All right, let's go into the awards. Hold on here. Again, I'm dying from allergies, so just bear with me a little bit.
Are you gonna keep track of the?
You can do that because I don't want to open up more things. That could be your job. So the Wrestle Observer 2010. I'm gonna explain how he does this. The first place finisher in a category gets 25 points. If the first place finisher has more than double the number of first place votes as a second place finisher, he bonus another 10 points for being dominant. I don't fucking know.
That's so confusing.
Yeah, Meltzer, like it's not fucking MLB, man. Just all right. We'll start with tag team of the decade. Do you want to go first? Or want me to go first?
Can I guess yours?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna guess it's the Young Bucks.
It is the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks win it. I'm gonna try to read off the way it's set up. I don't even fucking know. They win it. I'm just gonna give it that. They win it. Fisher and O'Reilly are seconds. Sakamoto and Akabushi are third. So that's my tag team of the year. I'm gonna go with you for New Day.
It is indeed.
Yeah,
New Day.
Now I gotta go back and watch some of their heel stuff because I don't remember the heel stuff at all. Was it any good?
Well, you know how it is. The heel stuff is what gets people over.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, they're turned baby, and all of the spice of their character is
dries up
changed with whatever it is.
Yeah, but not to cut you off. I want to add to that. I can see why they turn the face, merchandise, stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm just saying, like, as far as, being a viewer.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not as interesting. Not always, but the way WWE does it, the babyface is rarely as interesting as the heel.
It's like the Acclaim. I don't know how they're going to keep them the heels because they are fucking awesome, the Acclaim. Like, their raps are great, but they're pretty insulted. Like, you ever see the Kansas City rap?
No.
When they so like we're going down fast. We're going to go down faster than Patrick Mahomes' career because it was around the time when they were like 1-5 or like 2-5, and they were just greasing them right out. Oh, it was fucking great. And
well, that's like Elias.
Very good.
Elias was really good at getting that crowd.
Oh, did I tell you that he gave us in our house? So he mentioned he mentioned King Street.
No.
He mentioned the street. He was like, we're like, yes, we love this guy. That's awesome, brother. Like, you're healing us, but we love it because you know our fucking street. And you didn't call us St. John's with an S because you want to get fucking heel heat me and call us St. John's and we'll rip your face off.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. I'll be quick and I won't take much of your time, but I had I used to sell cell phones years ago, and I had one of the former mayors in my store buying a phone. Sold the phone, and in the front part of the phone, this is an Android because it's American. They had, for the name of the city, St. John ST. And she said, if you can't change that, I'm not buying this phone. Which was like, good for you. And I was legit, good for you. I don't blame you at all. Because that's a lot of bull poop.
Honestly, as a former St. Johner and someone who lived there for quite some time, ST John didn't bother me as much as St. John's.
Oh, man, you call it St. John's, brother. Didn't Bradshaw do it, I think? And we just ripped him apart.
I remember Oscar did it in a rap.
Oh, man, they'll tear you apart.
Yeah.
All right, so for that, Young Bucks, I'm going to go with the Young Bucks on that one.
Yeah,
we only have a few categories where we have the exact same award, but I think there are two. It's two.
So let's save that other one for the very last. Because
it is the very last. It is the very last. So we're going to jump into most popular wrestler. For me, it's going to be most outstanding wrestler of the decade. Most popular wrestler of the decade for you, I'm going to go with Cena.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not going to be. I mean, I hate to say it's not going to be much of a shocker, but yeah, it's pretty easy to figure that one out.
John Cena went to 20%, but also I forgot to list off the runners-up.
Oh yeah, go ahead with the tag team.
Tag team of the decade. So, the New Day wins it with 26%. First runner-up are the Young Bucks with 17%. Second runner-up is the Briscoes with 13%, and third runner-up is the Shield with 10%. And honorable mentions totaling 34% include Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, Matt and Jeff Hardy, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, and Jay and Jimmy Uso.
There we go. Okay. So in your most probably see who's runner up for that?
First runner up is Daniel Bryan with 20%. Second runner up is AJ Styles with 10%. Third runner up is CM Punk with 10%. And honorable mentions totaling 40% include the Bullet Club, Becky Lynch, the New Day, and Roman Reigns.
All right. So for me, it's the most outstanding wrestler.
Is it Okada?
It is Okada. Okada wins it. I don't know the votes. I'm not trying to figure it out. He wins it. Tanahashi's second. AJ Styles is third. So that is that. So, I mean, we can't pick between the other one or whatever. Yeah. But I also like Okada. I'll say it starting this show. Like, I haven't watched a lot of Japanese stuff. I've been watching a lot of Japanese stuff. And Okada, I like him. He's good. Next award is the Scott can make it through the season. Well, probably not. Feud of the decade for you. I couldn't figure out one for me. I put best brawler for me. I was like, I don't fucking know. Okay. Like, so you can guess best brawler for me.
Is it Kevin Owens / Dean?
It's a she. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah.
And then Kevin Steen and Owens. And then Sagawada, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but that's the best brawler. He looks like literally a Japanese Samoan Joe.
Yeah. He's just smaller.
Yeah. It looks the exact same. For a feud of the year, decade, that's an interesting one. Because there's so many. And where do you go? Like, I would think Punk and Cena.
But it didn't
last. Well, no, just wait.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't last that long. Cena and Orton feuded the whole fucking decade nonstop. I'm gonna go Cena Orton. I'm gonna think they picked that.
No, they actually went with Kazuchika Okada versus
Wow.
Kenny Omega.
Wow.
With 18%. Kenny Omega. Right here, brother.
Yeah. And it's funny because is that the one that they also gave 93 stars to, or was the next one they gave 97 stars?
Well, this is feud.
Okay. So he gave a combined 175 stars to all the matches.
Oh, yeah. All the stars.
Yeah.
I mean, right here, brother. 7-star man.
Like, you know what? Can I get into that before you jump into that?
Sure.
That's just, I don't even know how to say it because I'm all loopy. It's fucking stupid, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I've seen that match. I watched it. Yes, it was really good. But 5 stars, bro. That's your limit. You don't go 7, 6, 9, 32, 107. Like 5. That's it.
Here's my problem with it, and it's like I don't want to veer into Jim Cornette territory, okay. But kayfabe wise, what is the goal of a professional wrestler?
To win
the titles and to make money.
Yep.
Not to have good matches. Have good matches is it's the Shawn Michaels effect. You want to be the showstopper, but he doesn't talk about winning. He talks about having the best match on the show. And that has kind of seeped into modern professional wrestling, where in the promos the wrestlers will talk about how they're going to steal the show, they're going to have the best match, when really, whether you have a 2-minute match or a 32-minute match, the goal should be to win. I want the wrestlers' motivation, the reason for doing what they're doing, to be victories, either for money or for titles.
So I said the no holds barred matches, bring a gun in the ring, shoot the guy. There's no rules. Shoot him, boom, match is over, you're done. Attempted murder, you still won. I mean, if you kill him, then whoops, sorry. I didn't know. It was a premeditated, like run to the ring. So yeah, kind of. Anyway, go ahead with the runner-ups. I put the runner-ups for that Brawler of the year. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Okada versus Omega wins it with 18%. First runner-up is Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair with 13%. Second runner-up is CM Punk versus John Cena with 12%. Third runner-up is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn with 10%. And honorable mentions totaling 47% include Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett, Daniel Bryan versus The Authority, Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, and The Rock versus John Cena.
All right. So let's jump. I gotta buy some fucking tissues, man. These toilet paper that's burning my nose all the hell. All right, let's go into the next one. This is right before halftime. We're always jumping into halftime. So we only have 8 awards on each end. Well, I have more. We only have 8. So the most hated wrestler of the year for me. This is so random. Decade. Best television announcer of the decade for me. So most hated for you. I know it's random, man. I'm gonna go Triple H.
It is Brock Lesnar with 44%, a massive win. First runner-up is The Authority, Stephanie Trips with 13%. Second runner-up is Roman Reigns with 8%. And third runner-up is Chris Jericho with 6%. Honorable mentions totaling 29% include Alexa Bliss, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, The Miz, Randy Orton, CM Punk, and Triple H. Triple H is both
okay, best television announcer of the decade.
Is it Kevin Kelly?
It is Kevin Kelly. You like that old school picture I got of him? Yeah. That's fine. For people who can't see it, people are listening, I got a picture of him back in like the late 90s. He was in front of the Rock's dressing room. Kevin Kelly gets it. Second is Joe Rogan. Marola. How's the guy's name again from NXT?
Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah. And I'll say with Kevin Kelly, man. I listened to his Japanese stuff was awesome. It's so funny to think like he was like a Michael Cole back in the WWE days.
Yeah, and he was good in Ring of Honor too. Like if you take a look back at some of the stuff, he was the head commentator when I rediscovered Ring of Honor back in 2013, and I think he goes over to New Japan in I want to say 2016, 2017, and they transition over to Ian Riccaboni.
For a guy who like really got shit on WWE, he did an awesome job coming out of that. I remember CH, one of our friends, tell me he's awesome. Like what? What are you talking about? That guy? He sucks, man. What are you talking about?
It's amazing what can happen when Vince McMahon isn't screaming in your ears.
He looked like a maniac threatening to kill you. Yeah. So for the halftime show, we're going to jump into our top 10 or top fives. I think top fives.
Yeah.
Wrestlers, music, I'm going to jump into sports before that. This is some cool sports things. These are the top 10 winningest teams of each league in the 2010s. So we're going to start with.
Guess?
Do you want to guess all of them or just guess at number one? Or 5 to 1, maybe?
I'll guess number 1 for each one.
Okay. So for NFL, season wins in 2010. So this is, I guess, the season. Number 10 is the Philadelphia. Go ahead.
I think I should guess before you do the top 10, so that way it once it gets down.
Yeah. Okay, so you guess for NFL number 1.
I'll guess number 1, but don't reveal it until you've
done
the full 10. I'm going to say the New England Patriots.
Okay, so number 10 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 9 is the Atlanta Falcons. Number 8 is the Denver Broncos. Number 7, my Kansas City Chiefs. Number 6, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, the New Orleans Saints. Number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let me jump into that. Definitely, because I hated Pittsburgh. They used to beat us all the time, and I fucking hated them so much back then. And Green Bay's number 2, and yes, New England obviously is number 1. That's a pretty easy one to get. New England won a lot in 2010s. I mean, when your division's the way it was in the 2010s, it's not hard to win a lot. All right, so Major League Baseball. You guys number 1. I'll go through it.
Was it the Dodgers?
We'll go through it. Number 10, the Oakland Athletics. Number 9, the Texas Rangers. Number 8, the Atlanta Braves. Number 7, the Cleveland Guardians. Number 6, the Tampa Bay Rays. Number 5, the Boston Red Sox. Number 4, the Washington Nationals. Number 3, your St. Louis Cardinals. Number 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 1, the New York Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
but they didn't win any World Series the whole decade.
I thought they did. Did they win like 2013, I think?
No, I think 08 was their last, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Basketball.
I'm going to guess Golden State Warriors.
Okay. Number 10, the Denver Nuggets. Number 9, the Toronto Raptors. Number 8, the Portland Trailblazers. Number 7, the Boston Celtics. Number 6, the Los Angeles Clippers. Number 5, the Miami Heat. Number 4, the Houston Rockets. Number 3, the Golden State Warriors. Number 2, my Oklahoma City Thunder. And number 1, the San Antonio Spurs. Well, Oklahoma City was good. They were pretty good up to like 2000, I think it was like 15. Stuff they kind of started falling off. But still, Westbrook got lost, right?
They were still good then. I think they really fell apart when they lost Westbrook.
Yeah, but they traded them, yeah.
Now, even when they had like just Westbrook, they got rid of Harden and Durant, they were still a contender. Like you could see them winning a round or two, but now I can't win the game.
Fuck no, they're bad. They had a lot of draft picks. They had a lot of draft picks coming up. Yeah. All right, so the National Hockey League, guess number 1, and then I'll go through the list.
That's tough. I'm going to go with Blackhawks.
Number 10, the New York Rangers. Number 9, the Nashville Predators. Number 8, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Number 7, Tampa Bay Rays. Or Tampa Bay Lightning, sorry. I'm confused there. Number 6, the Chicago Blackhawks. Number 5, the San Jose Sharks. Number 4, your Boston Bruins. And Andrew loves the Boston Bruins. He was upset that they lost 5. Nope, he's not. Number 3, my St. Louis Blues. Number 2, the Washington Capitals. And number 1, the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that is Sports 2010s. And I got to mute myself to blow my nose. Give me a second here. You can just wait. You don't have to do that. It only took 2 seconds. I'm not going to edit that out.
Yeah.
Be a waste of time to edit that out. All right. So let's go into music, movies, and TV, and then we'll get into the wrestlers at the end. Yeah. So top 5 albums. Do you want to go first or me, or how do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll go first for this one. You go first for the next one, and I'll go first for the one after that, so on and so forth. Okay, so my top 5 favorite albums of the decade. Number 5 is Faded Gloryville by Lindsay Ortega. Number 4, Drinking from the Sun by Hilltop Hoods. And if anyone knew me, to think that I would have a hip-hop album in my top 5 seems weird, but It was a dark decade for my favorite.
Yeah, music was pretty bad back then too. I heard I'm getting 5. Go ahead.
Yeah. Number 3 is "It's About Time" by Hank Williams Jr. Number 2, "Swimming Pools, Movie Stars" by Dwight Yoakam. And my number 1 album of the decade, do you want to guess?
I have no idea what it is. I have no
"Family Man" by Shooter Jennings.
There you go. So my number 5, Jack White Blunderbuss. Number 4, Black Keys Brothers, which that's the last good album they put out because they fucking suck now. They were good then, but they're not good anymore. Number 3, Black Star by David Bowie, which is actually really good. And I listened to it when it first came out. I didn't listen to it a while. I listened to it again today. I was like, that's a kick-ass album. Number 2, Like Clockwork, Queens of the Stone Age. And if you want to try to guess my number 1, if you get the artist right, I might even give it to you.
Is it Radiohead?
It is Radiohead. Moonshaped Pool. They put out 2 albums in 2010s, and the one before that was not good. No. They had like the In Rainbows, which was before the first one they put in 2010s, was my absolute favorite. And then they put out the next one, it was shit. And this one, Moonshaped Pool, is actually my second favorite Radiohead album. So we're gonna jump into movies. And again, I noticed I didn't watch a lot of movies in 2010s.
Oh, I did.
But TV shows are stacked. I had a couple honorable mentions for TV shows.
So
all right,
go ahead. Are you going first for this one?
Yeah. Okay, you went first for the last one. Number 5, Anchorman 2. Number 4, Kill Them Softly. Have you seen Kill Them Softly?
No, I have not.
Not bad. Brad Pitt. I give Brad Pitt credit. He's not bad. Brad Pitt again. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's number 3. Number 2, and you might be surprised by this, Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
I did like it. I tried to watch it, and I had to give up on it.
Really? What was your reasoning?
I didn't care. Like for me, a movie, it's got like within that first 7 minutes.
I know, I get it.
Grab my attention, or I'm looking at my phone.
No, that's understandable. I liked it. It had a really kick-ass ending on it. The ending was real fucking nuts. And guess what? Number 1. I'm trying
to think of which Avengers movie it is.
It's none. It's fucking none right there.
What is it?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
Yeah, big fan. Like we like a lot. How do you feel about that movie?
It's good. It's one of those movies where I haven't rewatched a lot of movies from that decade. I shouldn't say that. There's a couple that I've rewatched, but I find with more recent movies, I watch it the one time, and that's it. Yeah. And so the further we get from it, the less I'll remember about it. Like there may be some movies that will stick out, and I'll watch someone react to it, and that will, reignite my memories. But usually, I'm watching like older movies. I'm stuck in the past, man.
Well, that's like me with music. Fuck, man. Like I realized that when I did my music one, it was tough. Okay, you do your top 5 movies.
My top 5 favorite movies. Number 5 is Closet Monster. Number 4, The Place Beyond the Pines. Have you seen that?
Nope.
With what's his name? The heartthrob. All the girls like him.
Me? I'm not in that movie.
No, he's Canadian fella. I'm
Canadian. What the hell are you talking about? I'm not in that movie. I look great right now. Look at me all stuffed up. Those fucking ladies love me. Go ahead.
I highly recommend it. It really takes a crazy turn halfway through the movie, and then you go. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just say check it out. My number 3 is Shazam, based on my favorite superhero of all time. Number 2 is Bobby Fischer Against the World. It's a documentary.
Docs? I didn't know that. I could have put the couple documentaries. I would have.
Yeah, it's a feature film. I counted it.
Number 1.
And my number 1. Do you want to take a guess?
Was that your porno debut? Was that your pick?
No, that was a couple decades before.
In Vancouver and go around town. I don't know.
My number one is Searching for Sugar Man, another documentary. I don't know if you've seen that one, but that's
This is the thing. Like, I think I have seen it. I need to think documentaries. So it didn't even pop in my head. That's cool. No, that's good.
and
Go ahead.
I guess I'll go first for TV shows.
Well, you went last, so I'll go. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you go ahead for TV shows.
Okay. These are my top 5 TV shows of the 2010s. Number 5 is Review.
Oh yeah,
that's
fucking great. Don't cut you off. For anyone who hasn't seen that show, you gotta watch that show because it is fucking. And I got him to watch it. He's not big into checking stuff out, but I'll tell you, man, when you watch it, how long did it take you to burn through the whole series?
Not long, and that has a great first episode to introduce.
The first scene when he takes the groceries. It's just, oh my God. I remember watching it the first time, and I was like, literally, I was holding on to my couch. I was laughing so hard. Great. Keep going.
Great show. My number 4 is Wilfred.
Yeah, Wilfred's good.
My number 3 is Fargo.
Yeah. Okay, let me say about Fargo. And I know you know what I'm going to say. First 2 seasons, awesome. Third one, oh man, not good. Third one really kind of fucked it all up for me.
Well, that's why it's 3 and not 1. But those first 2 seasons,
oh my God, they're great.
So good.
Billy Bob Thornton.
After that can fall off a cliff, and I don't care. It's like Robert De Niro is my favorite actor. He can do all the bad grandpas and meet the Fockers as he wants. It's not going to take away from all the good stuff that he did.
Billy Bob Thornton plays the most intense bad guy in that first season. I mean, great show. Great show.
Great. And Kirsten Dunst is great in the second season, too.
It's all fucking awesome for the first 2. Go ahead.
My number 2 is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep.
It's, and I don't know if you caught the
I still need to put the podcast. I'm going to look at it later. I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
Take a look at it because their chemistry is just.
Well, they're awesome. They're awesome. I know they are. Yeah. They're
awesome. They have great sense of humor, and it's just so it feels like how it would feel to be in the writing room when they're coming up with episodes. They bounce ideas off of each other. They're good at making fun of each other in a lighthearted way, and it's fun. And any guess for my favorite TV show of the day?
I'm not sure. I can't guess.
South Park.
Oh fuck! You know what? God damn it, I cannot believe I didn't put that on my list. I'm so
South Park's been on since 1997, 98, 97. And
that's great.
And the fact that it's still kick-ass. Simpsons, what are you doing?
Yeah, nothing. Like Family Guy. But I'll say, you know what? And I'll go to my list. A show that's very underrated cartoon is Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, it is.
I like Bob's Burgers a lot. It's really, because I find they're not obscene. They don't have to be obscene. And that's pretty fucking impressive.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
King of the Hill.
Yeah. It's very quick humor, but it's a little bit it's a little risky here and there, but not like the other ones are. Okay, I got some honorable mentions to do here because I got a bunch.
Honorable mentions?
Yeah, I know. You could have put a couple on there if you wanted to. Do you want to put your honorable mentions on right now? You can if you want before we start. If you have any at the top of your head.
No. I because to get my 5, I did this a while ago because we were planning on recording this like months ago, and so I haven't even thought about TV shows. Like it's like if a show that I really liked was in the 2000s, but it had a couple of seasons in the 2010s, but those seasons I don't love, can I possibly rank it? I mean, would that even count? I mean, but anyway, go ahead with yours.
My honorable mentions are actually I'll do my top 4, then I'll do honorable mentions, and I'll do my 1. Number 5 is Veep. Have you seen Veep?
No.
Veep's really good. Number 4 is Review. Number 3 is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Number 2 is Succession. Honorable mentions. Louis. You've seen Louis on FX, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Vinyl, which was amazing on HBO, and they canceled after 1 season. It was fucking great. You ever hear that show?
Yep. That was produced by, was it Tarantino or Scorsese or something?
I think Scorsese had something to do with it. But I don't think he was didn't direct it, but he had something to do with it. Fargo.
Boardwalk Empire.
I think the guy, I don't know who produced Vinyl. Vinyl's really good, but it got canceled in 1 season.
Mm-hmm.
Fargo, because I just say 1 and 2 great. We talked about it already. Why I put it at that. Parks and Rec. That's my other honorable mention because the Parks and Rec is really good. And what's my number one, Mr. Andrew?
Was it Survivor?
Yeah, imagine. What are you guessing?
Thinking. Is it Breaking Bad?
It is Breaking Bad. And the thing about it was, I didn't put Better Call Saul there because I thought, you know what? It's in the same realm. I'm just going to leave it as it is. But yeah, Breaking Bad's.
Save it for when we do the 2020s?
Yeah, if I'm still alive with these allergies. I'll say with Breaking Bad and I'll be quick. People haven't seen it. Think, oh, it's just a drug movie. It's a drug show. That like some of the most intense scenes in that show, it's just dialogue. Like there's one of the most intense scenes in that show ever. It's him talking to his wife, and you're like, you know what I mean? Great writing in that show. Like unbelievable writing. Just I love it. Great show, fantastic. Very satisfying ending. I won't give it away, but you know, there's not going to be spoilers there. But satisfying ending and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm suffering here, so let's jump into the wrestlers. Did I lose my wrestlers tab? For fuck's sakes, I did, didn't I? Well, I think I know who I put. Okay, top 5 wrestlers of the 2010s. And I lost my tab with it on there. Great. You go ahead.
Okay. My number 5 is Asuka.
Oh, yeah. I love Asuka. If she's watched this, can we hang out sometime?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's cute too.
Number 4 is Chick Magnet Punk. I know he was gone
for a lot of
the decade, but I gotta give him props for bringing me back into the fold. We wouldn't be doing this podcast right now if it wasn't for Mr. Punk. My number 3 is Cesaro.
All 4 people thank him.
Yeah. And my number 2 is Bryan Danielson. And my number 1...
Triple H!
It is indeed the game because it's all about the game and how you play it. He's the cerebral assassin. He's the king of kings. He's the Connecticut blue blood. He's the leader of Degeneration X. It is actually Jay Briscoe.
Okay. My number 5 is Cesaro. Number 4 is Lesnar. Number 3 is Punk. I forget the fuck what number 2 was.
Randy Orton?
No.
Cena.
Oh, I'm bad. Mox is my 5. I don't have it in front of me. Mox is my 5. Cesaro, CM Punk. Well, Lesnar, CM Punk, then Bryan Danielson.
He's your number 1?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I lost my list, so I had to take it by wing it. All right, so that was the halftime show. Let's hop back into the awards. See if I can make it through this. All right, so we're going to jump in here. We have, where are we going now? Woman of the Year. Woman of the Decade, sorry, my bad. And I'm going to have again, like I always do with this one, Best Non-Wrestler. Who went last? Do you remember? I went last, so you got to pick my Best Non-Wrestler.
I'm going to say Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman it is. Best Non-Wrestler of the Decade goes to Paul Heyman. The runner-ups are Dario Quito, but you know what I'm talking about, right? The guy from Ring of Honor was he
No, Lucha Underground.
And Gato is number 3. Woman of the Decade for you? That's tough. Because I'll say something like I was going to mention the big things that that's the decade that they go to actually wrestling with women, you know. So, but those.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when Finlay took over agenting the women's match in like 04-05, it improved drastically. Like, I could watch like Victoria and Trish Stratus were having matches that wouldn't feel out of place in like NXT in 2014.
It's tough to pick because I can't think of it on top of my head because Becky's not in there that long. But Becky's right. You come in the 2010s. Lynch.
Is that your pick?
I'll pick her. Yeah.
It is actually her biggest rival. Charlotte Flair wins it with 33%.
Now the question is, how many times was Charlotte Flair married that decade?
Well, she's not her dad.
Well, she got married a couple times. She's a female version of her dad. Keep going.
First runner-up is Becky Lynch with 14%. Second runner-up is AJ Lee with 9%. I guess it's tied because the third runner-up also has 9%, and that's Gail Kim. Honorable mentions totaling 35% include Sarah Amato, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Saraya Knight, Mercedes Martinez, Stephanie McMahon, Natalia, Paige, and Ronda Rousey.
Fun. Let me ask something before we get into that. Did they have attendance figures in that magazine for the decade, by any chance? Like most attended, da 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 da. I'm curious about that. I tried to find it online. I couldn't find it anywhere.
No, but there is something I'd like to do before we finish it up. They have a little thing, but as far as like the decade, it's pretty much just the awards. They don't go over like major shows. They do the decade's 100 top PWI finishers. So PWI 500 finishers. So if you get one, that's worth 500 points. Two is worth 499, so on and so forth. So they add it all up and see who the top 100 would be in the decade.
That's too much time in their hands. Hold on, that's more tissues here. All right, so the next one is Inspirational Wrestler for you of the decade. Dude, I don't have a fucking clue who that would be. Cena, maybe?
It is Daniel Bryan with 34% of the vote. First runner-up is John Cena with 13%. Second runner-up is Roman Reigns with 12%. Third runner-up is Cody Rhodes with 7%. And honorable mentions totaling 34%.
What the fuck is Cody doing in that list?
He's inspiring.
Yeah.
He inspired people.
People talking about their dead fathers.
Hey, and that's why when Cody brings back the winged eagle, people will become fans of the American Nightmare. Not that they already aren't. Cody's a needle mover. He's the man. Honorable mentions totaling 34% include Bayley, Jerry Lawler, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, Jon Moxley, and Katsurai Shibata.
For me, it's most charismatic.
Is it John Cena?
No, it is not. It's Okada again. Oh, Tanahashi. I'm sorry. My bad. That's my bad. Tanahashi. Let's go look into who got in there. Tanahashi wins it. Nakamura gets second, and John Cena is third. So the best one's coming up for you. Look, it's a match of the decade now. This is how mine works. Okay? I gotta find it somewhere. Where's it at again? They have best matches. Like a guy with the best matches, they kind of do it by points. It's weird. But that's why I put in mine. So you pick the guy who had the most best matches of the decade.
Is it Okada?
It is Okada again. Yes. It's Okada again. He gets it. I'll tell you who's second and third. Second is Tanahashi, and third is Kenny Omega. So for you, match of the decade, I'm going with Taker and Triple H and Hell in a Cell.
It's close. It's actually Taker and Michaels from whichever Mania it was in 2010. I get the numbers.
25. You didn't like that? I didn't mind. It's a good match. You didn't like it?
I had so many problems with it. I watched it just before we recorded.
Well, before you say anything about that match, let me explain something. When it happened originally, it was really good because it was different. It wasn't that.
Are you thinking of the one from the year before in 2009?
I'm thinking of the one in Texas. The one they had in Texas. It's in Dallas. Where was this one? In Arizona?
Yeah.
What was the gimmick? That match was shit. That was no good.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. The first one was much better.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that whenever we do 2009, but for the decade. And the thing is, I had forgotten I had seen this because I remember I had pirated.
Did you hear that, FBI? Pirated it.
Yeah.
I
watched it on a streaming site that was called sportsbun.com. It used to be where I would go to watch like my Vikings games or my Habs games, whatever. And also, it did have World Wrestling Entertainment pay-per-views along with TNA and whatever. And I remember using it to get UFC pay-per-views. This is back when Brock was still
Dana White's still looking for you. Go ahead.
Yep. And I had seen this, and I had forgotten I had. And right away, I'm taken aback by Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and Matt Stryker are on the call for this match, Scott. That's
not good. That's bad.
That's not a fun time because it's not like, oh, well, at least it's going to be 6 minutes. It's just 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Who cares? No. These boys decided we're going to go 40. And,
Oh,
oh, my God, it's rough. First of all, I think I've talked about this before. One of the things I hate, if somebody kicks out of your move, you don't have to oh, I can't believe this. Why don't you just go on the offense and do another move? Maybe you do a series of moves. Maybe you can do some chain wrestling. I don't know. But these guys didn't. They, it was finisher spamming. It was like playing a video game with somebody and you're both on blinking your spirit and you can do your specials to each other with no ill effect because before you know it, it was garbage. I did not like this match. It was like watching the Toronto Maple Leafs play the Boston Bruins. I don't like these wrestlers. I didn't like this style of wrestling. I don't like the promotion, and I don't like the commentary. And when you have Matt Stryker utter the line, "Gentlemen, this is what we rehearsed our entire lives for," it felt like, was that written word for word? Was this your own thing that you brought to Vince? And he said, "God damn it, I love it."
no, it was a Vince.
Or was this your opportunity to audition for the Michael Cole role? But whatever it was awful. And the work amongst the guys was, it's 2010 Taker and Michaels. I know you're a fan of the year before, but this match was not my favorite.
Well, see, for me, again, the year before is I watched it live and they hadn't done something like that yet, so it was it's a really good match. Looking back at it now, it's probably not that great, but anyway, okay. What was that? What's the runner-ups?
Oh yeah, my runner-up. The first runner-up is Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada from September 6th, June 9th of 2018. Second runner-up is Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega from January 4, 2017. And third runner-up is CM Punk versus John Cena from July 17, 2011. And honorable mentions totaling 57% include Undertaker versus Triple H from April 1st, The Rock versus John Cena from April 1st, 2012. Bayley versus Sasha Banks from October 7, 2015. Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega from June 11, 2017. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole from April 5th, 2019. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan from April 7, 2019. And Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks from August 31st, 2019.
So, totally off topic of that. I don't know what got in my brain. I'm going to ask, this is totally off topic of everything, but I got to say something. I watched a documentary last night on Netflix. The Last Blockbuster. Have you seen it?
No. Is it about the last Blockbuster in Oregon?
But man, I'll tell you something, bro. That first half hour, you're smelling from ear to fucking ear. Because they talk about, back in the day, going to get movies and stuff. It's oh, I remember that shit.
But, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Blockbuster.
Uh-huh.
It didn't have the same charm as a mom and pop video store. Corporate. And this whole nostalgia of Blockbuster kind of forgets that they're part of the reason why nothing's around anymore, because they steamrolled all over major video and video theater and movie land and whatever it is that your local movie stores were called. And the thing about those small mom and pop ones is you can find some buried treasures. You wouldn't find ones where they would take out the bad parts like Blockbuster had been known to do.
Remember a place Ricky's that was by your house? That's still around. It still rents movies.
Oh, really?
I heard.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so last one. Wrestle of the Decade. So I'll pick yours to be, I'm going to pick John Cena.
It's the cover boy.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles wins Wrestler of the Decade with 29% of the vote. First runner-up is Brock Lesnar with 14%. Second runner-up is John Cena with 14%. I guess they were tied.
Yeah.
Third runner-up is Kazuchika Okada with 10%. And honorable mentions totaling 33% include Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
All right. Who was my wrestler of the decade?
I'm going to say Okada.
1 second. I don't know who it is yet. Hold on. I have to go up. It is not. It's Tanahashi.
Oh, okay.
Tanahashi wins it. We have a runner-ups as Okada's second, John Cena's third. That's that. So I'll go with AJ Styles on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree.
Okay. So you're going to have some...
So we're split, you know.
Yeah.
It's a tie. We had one Observer, one PWI. I don't know if that's ever happened, has it?
I don't know. You can go ahead and add on to what you got there in front of you, and I'm going to add on to the secondary awards when we're done.
Yeah, sure. As I was skimming through this magazine, looking for ideas for stuff to talk about, they had this pretty interesting article called 25 Under 25. So they spotlighted 25 wrestlers who were under the age of 25 when this came to press. No, under 25, not.
Yeah. I told them they would allowed to talk with me. My lawyer told them to fuck right off. Future Hall of Famers, I probably that shit.
And I thought it was pretty neat because we're not that far removed from when this came out.
Yeah.
But we're far enough where we can look at some of them and say, wow, that was a good pick.
Yeah.
Way to go, PWI. And other times they may be whiffed. But we have Hirai Kawato, who's 23. Wheeler Yuta, who's 23.
Yeah.
Marco Stunt, 23. Myron Reed, 22. Jordan Oliver, who's 20. Isaiah Cassidy, who's 22. He's, of course, one half of the tag team Private Party in AEW. Layla Hirsch, who's 23 at the time of this printing.
Yeah.
Shoto Umino, who's 22. Jamie Hayter, 24. She's, of course, one of the
one of the girls of Britt Baker.
hangers on of Britt Baker. Yeah. Jungle Boy, who's 22. Chris Statlander, 24.
Can I say something right now about this?
Go for it.
Does WWE hear this shit? I don't watch it, but do you hear all the guys in AEW that are being mentioned in this list?
It said 25 and under, not 45 and over. So
yeah, exactly.
There you go. But speak of the devil, Austin Theory, 22.
Yeah.
Ace Austin, also 22. Jordan Grace, 23. A Kid, which is one of the dumbest names.
Yeah, that's fucking boring. Like, you didn't put any thought into that.
Yeah.
Like
that's really bad. Like, gun to the head, what do you think's the worst wrestling name you've ever heard?
That might be it right there. Or like we're one of them, like Big Boy Bundy or some shit. Like one of them dumb fucking I'm gonna rip off King Kong Bundy but not say the name. King John Bundy or something.
Yeah. See, for me, the one that I always thought was really dumb was Test.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
Never liked the name. And the Big Show is stupid as well.
Yeah, that's just them. They couldn't think of something. Yeah. Oh my God, it's Paul White. It's Paul White. Remember that when he came in? It's Paul White. Holy shit.
What a giant man. Tony Storm, 24. Colby Carino, the son of Steve, is 23. Darby Allin, 23. Mm-hmm. Dragon Lee, 24. Rhea Ripley, 23. Tyler Bate, 23. Tessa Blanchard, 24.
Tessa gets on, but they were, excuse me.
Kaito Kiyomiya, 23. MJF, 24. Riho, 23. And so it just struck me as odd as all the young talent that WWE decided, let's bring Edge back.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go, a bunch of young guys in AEW. What else you got? Is that it?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. So let's jump through a couple more. Box office draw of the decade.
John Cena?
Brock Lesnar, like the little yeah. Well, I mean, Brock was killing it in 2010 with the UFC and stuff. And Conor McGregor is second, John Cena is third. Not including MMA, this is what most third place would be The Rock. The next one is best on interviews of the decade.
Paul Heyman?
It is Paul Heyman.
I like that picture you chose.
Do you want to put it back up again? Let's see.
Yeah, I like it.
Got something devious is happening with that guy.
Yeah,
he's up to something no good. Paul Heyman is first. Conor McGregor, CM Punk, not including MMA. Chris Jericho will be third. Best technical wrestler.
Bryan Danielson.
Zach Saban Jr. Is that how to spell his last? Is that how to say his last name?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Saber, yeah. Bryan Danielson is second. Kyle O'Reilly is third. Best flying wrestler.
Is it Will Ospreay?
It is not. It is Ricochet. Ricochet wins that one. Let's see whose runner-ups are. Ibushi, what's his name? Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi.
Okay, Ibushi and Will Ospreay is third. Best promotion.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Well, obviously, it's automatic. It's the Observer. There's no other way around that. That wins it. UFC second, WWE is third. And we already did the best matches, so that's done. So that's that, and that's all that. And I made it through. Woo! I didn't fucking pass it on the podcast. I'll tell you something, people. I've been seasoned all fucking day. Like, I'm talking like nonstop. It's been going on all afternoon and all night. And when I got off the phone with you earlier, you said, let's do it late. I said, okay, cool. No problem. All of a sudden, it felt like it was minus 42 in my house. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, am I going to die? Is this it? Is this how it ends? Did I rupture something in my nose? It got really fucking cold in my house, man. Like, I had to ask that thing. Like, I'm not going to say it out loud because it says things when you do it. I had to ask it what the temperature was. It's like, it's +2. I'm like, it's not that cold. What the fuck's happening here? I thought that was it. I was standing up in front of the TV watching hockey. I'm thinking, this is it. I'm going to die watching the fucking Carolina Hurricanes and Boston Bruins again. This is the end of my life. But they won't find me. Pardon me?
At least Boston lost.
I'll tell you one thing. We always have that fear that might be, at least if you die doing that, you know, there are other ways you can go. Like I heard a guy say one time, I pray to God I don't die during this. Someone sees what I'm watching. So the guy wrote that on a site once. It was really funny. Yeah. So 2010, yeah, I mean, you know, like a lot of things came out. I mean, WWE Network, as much as we give it shit, like it was not bad when we first got it, because tons of stuff was on there. AEW comes into play.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
It's because of the WWE Network that I have cable. I would completely transition to illegal streams,
Whoa, big fella. Let's bring it back a couple bit there. We're not talking about, we don't do that stuff from here in the Newsstand versus Newsletter. We buy things, people.
Let me just say
that FBI, we buy things. We buy our pay-per-views. We do not take them off the internet illegally. We don't. I don't live in the British Columbia. I live in Sussex, New Brunswick, by the way.
If you're a Canadian who listens to this and you have the WWE Network and you want to help a brother out, you share.
Are you asking for sharing his passwords? Do not listen to this man.
Yeah, because then I can just get rid of cable, and that's like $230 a month.
You can't share passwords. WWE. I tried it. We tried it with yours, and they do like a check or something, because I remember I did it with yours one time, and they kept kicking me off. They're pretty tight with that stuff.
Well, I want you to try something.
Oh, listen, it's right on the podcast.
We'll do this off air, but I have something I want you to try.
Well, I'm not doing that with that girl again. I'll tell you that. That was terrifying. So we got over that. That girl with the cane mask. It was frightening. But anyway, okay. Well, don't forget, people, subscribe, hit the like button, notifications, all that stuff. Shoot the shiz in. Check that out with our boy Brian. He's got some cool stuff on there. And I'm going to go and suffer through this goddamn allergy and see my big furball cat who's right next to me is probably part of the reason why. P.S. My cat's not dead yet. I don't know how the fuck this cat's still kicking. But anyway, that's my ending of the podcast. I'm fucking tired. I got to get some shit done. So I will talk to everybody later. And everyone have a great, whatever day you're watching this, have a weekend. Have a great weekend. So you're watching this on a Friday. Have an awesome weekend. Don't do anything crazy. Don't eat too many hot dogs or anything and all that stuff. And we'll see you next time on another episode of Newsstand versus Newsletter.
Beautiful plaque. Okay, the first one is Billy Jack. Billy Jack was voted by all you fans all over the world as the most improved wrestler of the year. And I'd like to give him the plaque right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the man who received over 12,000 votes. 12,000 votes as the most popular wrestler of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the plaque, and now here's the man who won it by your choice, the former World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.